that uses, you know what Discord is? No. Do you use Discord?
Discord?
Yes, sir.
I used to. I don't have it.
When's the last time you used it?
Like a few months ago.
There are so many red flags in this body cam. Had the cops seen them and acted on them, not only could 4 lives have been saved, but father and son could have been steered away from a path of least resistance. So what went wrong? What did the cops miss?
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science, the most authentic voice in true crime. There's something very Moab stoppy about this confrontation with Colin and Colt. The Moab stop, you'll remember, was an opportunity to prevent Gabby Petito's murder had the cops read that situation right, had they interpreted the psychology signs properly. So what did they miss here? Before we get to that, and we'll be looking at 10 red flags. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. If you're finding this analysis worthwhile, please like, share, leave a comment. You can also hit the thanks button, and let's get started. Number 1, Colin is in his underwear. When Georgia cops knock on their door on Sunday, May 21st at 13:55, that's 5 to 2, Colin, Colt's father, answers, dressed in his underwear. This already shows a high degree of dysfunction at home.
Hey, how are you? Are you Colin?
I am.
You want to step out where we can talk real quick?
What's wrong?
You got a son or something that uses, you know what Discord is?
Now, it's quite interesting how the officer asks him to step out and he doesn't. He stays sort of in the opening of the door. But without knowing anything, just this image is already giving a big clue to a lot of dysfunction going on in that household, and specifically with this individual. Number 2, do you know what discord is? Right off the bat, the officer asks Colin if he knows what discord is. Colin answers, no. Funnily enough, his son is going to use those exact words in a moment as well.
Something that uses, you know what Discord is?
No.
The question is his father honest when he says he doesn't know what discord is? Suppose it's possible because guys that age possibly don't. But then a few minutes later, when the officer mentions it again, Colin seems to know what it is. Number 3, we got a tip from the FBI. It's not every day that the FBI take an interest in what kids are saying on social media, and this was an important find by the FBI. The threat was clear and unambiguous.
Yeah. That made a threat to shoot up a school.
For real?
Yes, sir.
Now, had the officer been properly trained and informed, he would have known that online threats are significantly more dangerous than ordinary verbal threats. Did you know that? Online threats are worse than offline threats. And think about what we're dealing with. To write something down and post it shows a degree of intentionality. You know, it's one thing to think something and say it. There's another level where you're thinking it and then writing it down. And there's a lot of not only intentionality but deliberation going on there. This has actually been demonstrated in a study of almost 80 Finnish students who made similar threats. The conclusion of the study was that those who expressed those threats online could be considered a riskier group than the group who expressed the threats offline. Number 4, let me get dressed. Barely 30 seconds into his interaction with the officer, Colt's father, once the officer tells him how he tracked them down, cuts him off and closes the door with the excuse that he needs to get dressed. At this point, the officer should have asked if he could enter the house. One wonders what Colt was doing inside at the time.
Live here. Let me get dressed.
Sure.
Number 5, Dad to the rescue. A full 90 seconds pass before the door opens again, and now Colin, Colt's father, is at the door again, dressed casually in shorts and holding a beer. So he's gone inside, come out with a beer, doesn't bring his son out at this point. And what likely happened is perhaps Colin told Colt that he's going to handle things and perhaps do X, Y, Z, who knows. But this doesn't seem like he's potentially covering for his son at this early stage.
Sorry, boys.
That's all right. Sorry.
I got up watching the golf tournament and sat back down.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
So what? Tell me what.
You have any kids or anything living
Yeah,
here?
Colt, Gray.
Colt?
Yeah, Colt. He's my oldest son.
How old is he?
He's 13.
Now, think about what we're dealing with here. You know, you might say, wow, these are nice Americans, they're casual, the guy's drinking a beer, just a casual thing. But think about that casualness in the context of having guns at home, and can you be a casual gun owner? And what happens if you are a casual gun owner? What if there's not a lot of discipline with regard to guns at home? If you've got guns lying around and you're drinking beer and you're walking around without your pants on, does that translate to discipline when it comes to guns? Number 6, you want to grab him? So incredibly, a full 6 minutes pass of Colin, Colt's father, gabbing with the officers. He's got a beer in hand. He's sort of sitting there. It's very casual, very conversational. And meanwhile, Colt remains inside the home. And so it seems like in a kind of a subtle way, he's hoped the situation would simply be solved without him being accountable, without him being there, without him answering any of the questions. Significantly, it's not Colt who emerges voluntarily. Like at no point does he actually step out, nor does his father volunteer to go and get him, but the officer actually has to ask the boy's father to go get him.
Yeah, y'all.
All right, well, if you want to grab them,
Yeah, y'all talk to
or
him.
we can go in. It's
No,
up
it's
to
all
you.
cool. Hang on.
And that brings us to number 7. We can go in. That's what the officer says. And then the father responds, no, it's all cool. And I think he says, hang on. It probably was a serious mistake not to enter the house and check the weapons directly. You know, are they loaded? Where is the ammunition kept? It's also interesting how Colin clearly doesn't want the officer inside. Suspiciously, instead of simply calling for Colt at the door, he enters, closes the door behind him, and then is gone for something like another 30 seconds. Number 8, at 8:34, father and son emerge together. When Colt appears at 8:34, a total of almost 8.5 minutes have elapsed since the police first knocked on the door. One wonders what the boy was doing behind closed doors. Was he eavesdropping close to the door? Was he in his room totally unawares? Did his father actually say to him, move the guns around inside the house? Did he delete his Discord account? Did he turn off his computer? Did he have any idea what this was all about? What did the father and son say to one another in the couple of seconds that they were together inside the house before the father emerged after first speaking to the police?
Emergency, yeah.
These are good dudes. Just they're told.
Hey, Colt, what's going on, bud? So did your dad kind of explain everything to you?
Said something about
Shooting up a school.
And now the body language. Number 9, Colt's body language is seriously suspicious.
Shooting up a school.
Did you say something about school shooting?
Never, I just told him, I don't know what. Maybe they misheard somebody else. I don't never say that was threat. I'm just
So at 8:35, when the door opens, Colt hangs back and his father has to sort of motion for his son to go out the door first. When there's a very clear sense here of a timid, cowardly young person, and to that one must also add dishonest, a liar, someone who lies very easily, and what he's trying to do is hide behind his father. When he does step out, he seems to try to maintain maximum distance between himself and the officers, basically electing to stand against the wall in the corner. He couldn't be any further back but for a chair sitting against the door panel. Number 10, Sermon on the Porch, Part 2. At 8:40, we see Colt wearing a cap and long tracksuit pants. Colt digs both hands into his pockets and looks guilty as hell. Colt, trying to hide behind the other chair, starts talking, hands in pockets, and as he does, he sways left to right and right to left, like a sailboat. Now, what I see here is a very emasculated young man, a man lacking self-esteem, lacking confidence, lacking any kind of sense of agency. But where have we seen that swaying from left to right before? Well, remember this.
I mean, she barely gotten into bed, pretty much.
And, you know, this might be a tough question, but did you guys get into an argument before she left?
It wasn't.
How about this?
You know it's still live because it's flagging.
Mm-hmm. How long does it typically record for?
30 seconds, I believe, at a time. But this is at 148, and then the next one I have is 105, whatever. So nothing, no cars came through, because I guarantee, with the headlights, it picks up the headlights automatically.
And my Vivint said that at 5:27, my garage door was left open. But that could have been the sensor as well. It says it was shut during the day, but I think when Nikki's son...
Or how about this moment right here?
We'll keep that in mind. All right, thanks. Bye. Did you tell your mother-in-law that she went to a friend's today? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What friend?
So we went to a friend's house, so that's all I knew.
Now let's look at Colt Gray again and pay attention to what's being asked that's got him so nervous.
Did you say something about school shooting?
Never, I just told him, I don't know what. Maybe they misheard somebody else. I don't never say that on the threat. I'm just
You never ever said.
No, I swear.
Do you use?
It's quite interesting just how mumbly he is here, just like Chris Watts was when he was asked a similarly important question going right to culpability. So here we see Colt answering that he swears it wasn't him, and then the officer asks him a question point blank. Do you use Discord? And he answers, Discord? And so yeah, he's stalling for time. Again, he says, remember just 8 minutes ago, his father answered, no to the question about Discord. Now he says, Colt says, I used to, I don't have it anymore. It's interesting that his father doesn't even ask what Discord is. Given that he doesn't seem to know what it is, it's interesting that he doesn't seem to ask what it is. In any event, the officer presses on, asking Colt, when was the last time you used it? Throughout this questioning, Colt sways left to right, right to left, hands dug into his pockets. What we're seeing here is self-soothing by a criminal, or at this point, a would-be criminal.
I used to. I don't have it anymore.
When's the last time you used it?
Like a few months ago.
Really?
Was it at Traditions or was it here?
No, it was a Traditions because in that Discord account that I had
Self-soothing is a technique that's used to manage and regulate one's emotions and create a sense of calm and comfort. Now, typically, when you need to self-soothe, you're suffering from feelings of fear or anxiety. By the way, it's not only criminals who need to self-soothe, we all do. Make no mistake, Colt Gray and Chris Watts, when confronted like this, are in a hyper state of arousal, and that arousal is uncomfortable. I'm not going to take it further than that. We've examined the first 10 minutes of the almost 20 minutes of body cam. If you'd like me to do the rest, let me know in the comments. Also, have you seen Dr. Phil's assessment of the Trump-Kamala Harris debate? He did a body language analysis of that. What did you think of that? Would you like me to analyze that analysis? It's done by two members of the, I think it's the body language panel or something like that. So if you would like me to go over that, let me know in the comments. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.